Hello there, everybody out there in internet land. Welcome to Behind the Weebs, a look behind the scenes of running SunnyCon Anime Expo, an anime convention in the United Kingdom. I'm Tucky, at Tucky the Weeb, somewhere down here, and welcome to a very festive feeling one. And we're looking a bit introspectively at the last couple of years going by as the new year slowly creeps up on us. And we're looking at the best SunnyCon moments up until 2019. We have been down our own personal memory lane. Like I say, this is more mine and Donna's favourite moments as opposed to our complete staff, because every staff member has their own special memories made from their own point of view. So for us, this is our top 5 memories from SunnyCons from 2012 up till now. Starting off at number 1, the move to Newcastle. We will remember this because it was a Chibi Sunny event that we first ever ran at Newcastle, and this was on the back of a lot of well, we nearly went bust. This was SunnyCon 4 had happened. We were very down in the dumps. We couldn't use the Pullman anymore. The previous year we almost died, literally, and from there we had to look for a new home pretty much straight away before we could put any tickets up for sale, and we almost called it a day. But from that, we were looking around for chibi events, because the idea was, for instead of going from SunnyCon 4 to SunnyCon 5, we would take a break and we would have a SunnyCon chibi event. And we went around lots of venues in the northeast, like different hotels, the Baltic, the Sage, iconic venues. And just as kind of a left field punt, Donna went for St James's Park, and we went for a meeting with St James's Park to discuss the chibi event. And from there they were kind of like, well, if you want, you could just hold your full event here. We had a look around the facilities, we had a look around everywhere, and it was kind of then just official. It was kind of a higher end budget for us, but we thought, a change to Newcastle, we'd get more attendees, which we did, and the rest, as this year's history. But it was that initial walking into Chibi SunnyCon, the actual first move itself, when we went in and we just had the Bambra Suite, which is it's the foot-long pitch one where we have the stage and the artists area, and we were just blown back, because we'd ran in Sunderland, and Sunderland have really silly kind of little health and safety rules, such as all fold-out chairs must be cable tied together for health and safety. So, and everything we did at these events, like setting up the stage, setting up tables, setting up chairs, everything had to be done by us, the staff. There was no staff there to help us, and we were paying quite a bit for the hire of leisure centres, but no help at all. All of SunnyCon 4, putting up all those marquees outside, no help, just staff. And that was hindered by the venue running an event on the same night that we're setting up, even though we booked set up at that time. But we went in Newcastle and it was a total different thing. Tables were set up, chairs were set up, staging was set up, everything was great. All we had to do as organisers was walk in there. We've had 4 years of struggling and ploughing through and being physically exhausted after the first day of setup, to then have to do the weekend event just to walk in and everything's set up, and it's like, what do we do? So that's the first big positive memory, and it was just that kind of relief of it could really work out. After all of the pain we've went through, this could work out. A second thing on the list there was the old 18 plus panels we used to run. This is, like I said, this is personal, because we kind of toyed with the idea of having 18 plus content at our event. We were still running as an all ages event, but we had that kind of thing, because back then you had two things. You had an all ages event and you had the 18 plus hotel based conventions, and there was no in between. No all ages event would cater to the 18 plus. So you had the split demographic down that middle. You keep to your hotel events and drinking. You keep to your full of little kids weebs. And we kind of decided, you know, we can bridge that gap because it's some simple security, some simple like paperwork just to say like we're going to hold an 18 plus event. It's going to be catered, like tapered off. You're going to need ID to enter. And from there, we had the introduction of our 18 plus events, and we used to do a lot of our guests 18 plus events. Memorable ones are the Team 4-star ones, the Quentin Flynn and J. Michael Tatum 18 plus event went down really well. Obviously, we tell people not to video them, but some people snuck a video camera in. So they'll be floating around there somewhere. But like just the introduction of 18 plus stuff to an all ages event, and what we got from that was a lot of fun, a lot of things we didn't know, and we've continued that trend. So 18 plus is now, it's a part of SunnyCon. You know, we cater to the 18 plus crowd, and I feel like that's one of the better memories that we have of running throughout all the years of SunnyCon, just introducing people to, like, you know, we're not all prim and proper, and we know that there's an 18 plus element to anime, and we're going to cater to it, and we still do to this day. Kind of keeping along with the 18 plus tradition for number 3, it's guests on the boat. We've run boat parties since 2013. Since our second year, we've run boat parties, but they've always been kind of separate from our SunnyCon main events, because our SunnyCon main events used to run in March, so the charters didn't really kick off until like April time. So it's like through the end of spring, summertime, where the boat parties used to be, and we started inviting guests on the boat when we started like running alongside our events. As recent as last year, but before that we had the Chibi Sunny event where we had Quentin Flynn over as a guest, and we had him on the boat. And just having guests on the boat, it's one of those things. I mean, we invite all our guests. Not all of our guests come on the boat, and you know, after like 19 hours on a flight and then putting up with attendees for a weekend, we understand that, you know, there's going to be a lot of jet lag, a lot of fatigue, and you want to take yourself away from that situation. But we've had guests also just come on the boat because they'll hang about with their fans, they'll drink with their fans. There's been a few memorable incidents happened on the boats. I'm going to try and have to find the footage for this, but there's the one where Caitlin Glass was spanking attendees. Insert clip here. Right, and there was the video, if I can find it, of Brittany helping with one of the charity head shaves. Also insert clip here. And it's a really fun time. It's a great advertisement for our boat party because you never know what's going to happen. I believe, like, you know, the head shaving broke out into lots of national anthems being sung, and it's great. It's great to have them kind of unique experiences. Where else are you going to find an event where you're going to have one of the guests shaving an attendee's hair while everyone's belting out the American national anthem? Nowhere in the world offers that but SunnyCon. So fourth on this list, it's one of the earliest memories I have of SunnyCon, and this was when we first met Veronica and Chris. Now these are two different instances because Veronica arrived on the plane, she got off, and this was our first time actually meeting a guest at Newcastle airport, and it was nerve-wracking because this is Veronica Taylor, this is Ash Ketchum, this is, you know, the voice of my childhood, the voice of a lot of people's childhoods, and in booking guests we didn't know just what to expect. For Chris Sabat, the first meeting was actually in a McDonald's in Sunderland because he'd arrived a little earlier, stayed over in Newcastle for the night, and then he travelled through to Sunderland where he checked into the hotel. And it was a weird one because we were kind of panicking like, Chris, is he going to be okay? Do we need to collect him? Do we need to like chauffeur you to the hotel? No, he made his own way. Yeah, very very capable voice actor. I mean, some voice actors and actresses can be a little divish. In fact, saying that, I think there's only ever been one that we've had who's been divish, and the rest of them have been fine and can be capable. But that's for another video. But the first time meeting Chris, he was eating some, I believe it was chicken selects in the Sunderland McDonald's in Sunderland City Centre. And we've been setting up at Crow Tree Leisure Centre, which was just round the corner. And me and Rachel, we walked around the corner and we kind of walked in there and we saw him eating food. And I kind of turned to Rachel and Rachel turned to me and we both gave that like kind of really fangirly like, oh, it's him. Because we are massive weebs, but we kind of like gave that, and like I think he caught us doing that, like him looking over, and we kind of like looked over and he was like, we're like, oh no, no, whoa, what a first impression to leave. But we then changed into like formal, like, hello, very business-like, welcome to the United Kingdom, hope you're enjoying your stay, don't know why I'm doing the accent. And he's a down-to-earth bloke, absolute troll, but a down-to-earth bloke nonetheless. And it was a fun weekend, but it was that initial meeting of the guests, because a lot of people thought like, oh, SunnyCon, you know, there's nobody convention in Sunderland, nobody, they're going to not get these guests in attendance, and we did. And so some of the bigger events hadn't even got these type of guests in. And that kind of nervousness that like washed over us, like, oh, will they actually turn up? This is the first time flying anybody in and paying people and getting people around. And it was a successful weekend, but it's that initial meeting, the butterflies, the whole like hot flushes coming over you, like, it's actually guests. And we still get that to this day. Any guest we meet, we are huge fans of. And it's the whole initial meeting, like they come off the plane, some of them might be tired, some of them might be like hyper, like, yes, in the United Kingdom, but it's always that nervous feeling. And for next year's guests, we're going to have the same thing where we just stand around and be like, ooh, can't wait for them, and try not to fangirl. We don't fangirl as much over guests anymore, but it's a great feeling. And it was kind of more of relief than anything, because they told us afterwards themselves they'd like looked into it and actually spoke to each other beforehand to say like, well, SunnyCon, I've never heard of it, and no, it's his first time convention. And they actually gave us the benefit of the doubt, because some guests might look at us and go, well, no, they're the first time event, they're not going to pay us and that, but we paid for the flights, and the logic was we paid for the flights, they're going to pay our fees, and we did. And everything else is history from there. And fifth on this list, last finally but not least, one of the best SunnyCon memories we have is from SunnyCon 3. And this was something that was unscripted and unplanned. Like, we kind of tinkered a lot with the charity auction format. The first year we didn't really have a charity auction as such. Second year it was a raffle, which went on way too long. And the third year we thought, you know what, let's just do a normal charity auction format. And this was our first year kind of like giving Ed free rein to do whatever. And this was in the big marquee. And it was one of the most surreal but fun things to ever happen. Masako was helping Ed with, that's Masako X. SunnyCon get mainstay, and absolutely down to earth, really good guy. In fact, go check out his YouTube channel. It'll pop up somewhere. And basically we gave them both free rein to improv the whole charity auction. So the improvisational skills of both Masako and Ed are absolutely amazing. Like, put them both together in a room and you get absolute gold. And this being our like third year event, we didn't know what to expect with the charity auction part of it. There was a lot of signed things going up, a lot of unique items, artwork, trinkets and whatnot that we got from our traders and artists. And then and then came the Vegeta plushie, and all hell breaks loose. And this is something we've never I'd say, like to say, we've never really experienced before that. And it was a bidding war between Breezy and Sam Ralston, both SunnyCon regulars and absolutely amazing blokes. Very charitable. And it kind of descends into what was like a Deadpool versus a Space Marine, and then Clively, who was wearing his full Gundam Unicorn Banshee outfit, like mech, walks in, and then we have the basically, I can't explain it. I'm going to try and find the footage and just watch it for yourselves. So like I said, absolute madness breaks loose, and it's continued. Every charity auction we get, if we've got something that either one of them likes, then they're going to like upbid the other, and what can be described as a bit of a willy measuring contest, but it's all fun. It's all for charity. I believe the last one that happened was we had Johnny Young Bosch at SunnyCon 5. And he'd signed a Black Ranger helmet, and that went crazy. And like I say, the charity auctions are always a fun time. Like, if you leave SunnyCon before the end of Sunday, you're missing out on probably one of the best parts of the event. And it's always fun for us because we're winding down. You know, we've done our work. We're winding down. This is all for charity. This is all for fun. Everything's completely unscripted. And everything that can happen usually does happen. I think, like, you know, last year's was Ed in the Dragon Maid outfit from the random box that we had of stuff. And like I say, it's memories like that, and it's one of the best memories you can ever have at a SunnyCon. It will be partly the charity auction, and that's probably why I've got it on this list here. And we hope to have a lot more in the future. So thank you very much for watching. Remember, once again, if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Click the little bell to get your notifications. We are aiming for 1,000 subscribers. So thank you very much. Please like and comment below any of your own memories, if you've got any memories of SunnyCon. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.